And there we are. Hi, welcome everybody. Sorry it took me just a second to get the audio live, but welcome. Welcome to the very first guest episode of Naked Truth 2.0. Roxy, thank you for being here.
I honestly can't believe it. I didn't realize I was the first 2.0 guest, and I have to say, it makes me feel like my head is a little too big right now. It makes me feel good about myself that you invited me as the first guest on 2.0. I love the show. I love what you do here, and I'm excited to be naked with you.
Yay! Well, see, that's the funny thing about having guests on this show is it's a little awkward to reach out to people and be like, hey, you want to get naked on my show? Because, like, I remember years ago on the previous version of the show, which was pre-recorded, but it's still, like if you have a slip, it's for the other person. Oh, hold on. Wait 1 second. People are saying they can't hear Roxy. So hold on. Talk again.
Well, maybe I looked really good while talking, hopefully. So.
Nope. I'm going to try one more thing. Let me just see. Sorry, guys. I thought I tested all this before we went live. And it's being silly pants. So hold on 1 second. Technical difficulties. I wish I had the technical difficulties.
Well, at least I can hear you.
They can hear me. But they can't hear you, and I don't know why that's not registering, because it totally should be.
Quick laugh like I said something really funny.
There we go.
Yeah, made me look good.
No, that's all correct.
Well, they said we hear you, it's just quiet.
Yeah, it's really quiet. This is what happens when I have the first guest on. Let me try. No, you sound good. It's something with my settings. Real quick, see, like. Because you should be coming out of... Here, let me just try this and see if this makes a difference. It probably won't. Try again, Roxy.
It's me. I'm here, and
It's
I'm
not.
loud and love beer.
No, that's making no difference either. I can hear her a little. You guys said you can kind of hear her. This is always a problem with live shows. Yes, I know.
Should I not put up my game? You don't think I should try?
No, I don't think that... I mean, you can try if you want to, but the...
Can you guys hear
Here,
me?
wait. This might do it. Ready? Oh, yeah. Now they can hear you.
Oh yeah. Oh, she sounds so
yeah.
good. Oh yeah. She's coming in hot.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Roxy, you were saying about getting naked on the internet.
Yes, I was. I was saying that I'm just so excited to be here. I love the show, and yeah, I think that maybe you felt okay asking me to get naked with you because I peer pressured you. I said, please, I love the show. Let me on. Let me be your naked friend. So I think I took the pressure away a little bit.
Well, you definitely took the pressure away. So when you said that you like being naked in your own house, because then I was like, oh, well, then you'd be perfect for the
It's an in.
It's perfect. In the previous version of the show where we did it pre-recorded, it was still, slightly awkward because even when you record it, even though you record it in your own house, you're still naked at the same time. And I remember when I asked Anthony Carboni to be on the show, he was like, oh, yeah, so I just come over your house? I was like, no, sir. No, sir. You do it in your house. You're very comfortable there in your own house. But I appreciated that he had zero problem with it. He was zero weird
I mean,
about
that would
it.
be a different kind of social experiment to see which of your friends would be willing to come over and be naked with you, and who is a little too eager. Who wants to come over a little too much to be naked with Trisha?
Hilarious. Hilarious. But how are you? How are you holding up?
I'm okay. Ebbs and flows. Today I'm in a flow, which is better than an ebb, I think. Yeah, I'm in a flow right now. It's warm out, which means that I try to spend 20 minutes a day out in the sun.
Okay.
Which sounds small, but is a game changer for me.
Game changer for me as well. Do you have a balcony or a rooftop, or do you go for a walk?
No, I do have a little porch, and it's actually like fenced in with trees. It's tree fenced in.
Okay.
And so I straight up talk about being naked. I go naked and sit on my fenced in porch 20 minutes a day.
Good for you.
Thanks.
I love that. I get your vitamin D and feel good about life. It makes such a huge difference for me too. It's warm enough out today that even though, so the past couple days, like the pool water's been like 60 degrees. So even though my tiny human's like, I want to get in the pool. I'm like, you do not want to get in this pool right now. It's been warm enough for the past couple days that I think we're going to try it today, which if that actually works out, I'm going to feel like I'm on vacation. Like
Yeah,
cloud
that's
nine.
amazing. I didn't know you had a pool.
Yes, this is what you get when you move to the suburbs. So I have a really long commute when I have to come into LA for things, but I have the perks of being in the suburbs.
That's a good perk, though.
It
I
is a
don't know.
good perk.
That kind of makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I think so, but it's not for everybody. There are people that are city people through and through. Have you always lived in Los Angeles, Roxy?
No, so funny enough, I was born here. And then when I was 2, I moved to Boston. So I'm a Boston girl in my whole blood. And then I moved back here for college at 18. So I grew up in Boston, but I'm the only one. I have 2 siblings, and I'm the only one of my siblings who was born in LA. They were both born in Boston, even though I'm the middle. My family did some jumping. And I feel like something was in the water, my blood. There was just something that made me say, I'm coming back no matter what. So I love it here. But I've never been anywhere I didn't love.
Oh, that's
Not my
nice
whole
to
life.
hear.
Yeah.
Well, Boston and LA are incredibly different.
Yeah, they are. But I feel like we all have different sides to us. And one of my sides is very Boston, and one of my sides is very LA.
You know what? I never thought about that, but I was raised in Philadelphia, and I was in Philly for the first 22 years of my life, and maybe that's why you and I get along so well.
Oh, yes, it's the Boston Philly. What's crazy is when you're back east, there's such rivalry between Philly, New York, Boston. But when you come to LA, everything is 3,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So you're the same. Like
It's
almost all my friends are East Coasters because when you're a transplant, you're a transplant.
Yeah, to me the East Coast thing is like the LA version is the I'm going to be super polite and really nice and try to solve this diplomatically, but when it gets too intense, the East Coast city comes out and you're like, yeah, now I mean business. Back up. Like that's where that line is for me at least. That's how I can tell right away like, oh, these are the people from the East Coast.
Yes, yes. Even my voice. So I say when I'm drunk, when I'm tired, or when I'm angry, I only have Boston. That's the only level that I have.
That's
Same
me
with
with
you.
Philly.
Yeah, like every part of living out here for over a decade goes away, and it just Boston wipes right over me and is like, nope, all right, we're coming back. We'll solve this problem. Don't you worry. And that part of me is not as pretty. Uh, she's she's a little aggressive.
It's pretty in a different way.
Yep.
Yeah, the naked truth is all about being as inherently you as possible and not hiding anything. So let your Boston show.
Ooh, that accent will come out, and you're gonna regret that, Trisha.
Ooh, no way, I love it. As someone who said bad for years,
Oh, that's
Philly.
bad.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
real bad.
that's bad.
I don't say that anymore. Got to shout it out to some super chats.
Woo!
Jim Jackson, before the stream even started, said, hope you and your family continue to be happy and safe. Thank you. And I'm throwing that right back out there to everybody watching right now. I hope you guys are all staying safe. Wash your hands, do your social and physical distancing, etc., etc. But also connect with people digitally so you're not super lonely. Steven Summers says, Roxy, I saw your TikTok. Will you ever shave your Wookiee legs again? Love
Great
you
question.
both a respectable amount.
Thank you.
Steven.
Thank you. So I did a TikTok in which I was pretending. So I'm just the goofiest and don't do thirst trap things because I wish I could. I'm like not sexy enough to like I can't. No, I mean like I don't do the like I don't have the good facial expressions I've tried before. Like I don't got it going on.
I get
So,
not having the sexy face, but you, ma'am, are sexy.
thank you. I will take that. But I don't, there's something about it. Like anytime I do a photo shoot, somebody wants me to do one, they always end up choosing the smiling shot because I laugh the whole time. Like I can't take myself very seriously because just something about standing there trying to look hot is funny. You know,
It
it's
is
just
funny.
there's something funny about it. So I did a thirst trap video where I hadn't shaved my legs since the start of quarantine. So my hair was like legitimately 2 inches long. So I'm sitting on my couch in my bikini and I'm looking at the camera. I'm like making sexy face, like, ooh, ah. And then you zoom in right onto my legs and it's just like hair, just the hairiest hair. So I will say after that TikTok, I did shave because they were blowing in the wind. Like Trisha, I was walking and my leg hair was blowing and it felt like there were spiders crawling on me. It was so uncomfortable.
That's
I was
hilarious.
trying to grow it this whole time, but it just didn't. It just was. It was so itchy and frustrating that I was like, "Why are you doing this, Rox? Who are you doing this for? Like, this is such a weird move that you don't even. You're not making a statement. You're not taking a stand. you just have itchy legs for no reason. So I did shave them, but I kind of miss my Wookiee legs. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Would you ever get laser hair removal?
Definitely. I mean, now when laser came out, I don't know if it was the same for you, but I wanted it so bad, but it was so expensive. It was
So expensive
crazy.
and super painful.
Yeah. And so I said, I'll do this when it gets less expensive. And now it is less expensive and less painful. And now it's like, okay, I got to figure out the time, the 6 weeks apart, the whole thing. I'll do it at some point. And I think it's a laziness, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know why I haven't done it because it's just the move. Like, it's not like I'm going to want my leg hair when I'm in my 70s.
Yeah, I go through periods of time where I'm kind of like obsessed with laser hair removal, where I'm like, just zap it all, just get it, get in there and get it. For the same reason, I don't like the way it feels. It's not for anybody else, it's for me. I
Yeah,
just
it's
don't, and I don't want to
itchy.
have to shave every day. It takes forever. But that's a hilarious TikTok idea. That's really funny, and you're
Thanks. All
very
of the
funny.
people, everybody who watched who didn't watch to the end was like, Roxy, this is so not you. And I was like, just keep watching. Just keep
Just
watching.
keep watching. I know anytime I try to make sexy face in a photo shoot, I feel like I either look high
Oh,
or
yeah.
mostly I just feel like I look high when I try to make sexy face and then I end up laughing. So I'm very similar in that all my shots are smile shots. I remember trying to do one once where like the director, this was back in the day when I was doing much more modeling than I don't do it at all now, but this was back in the day. This director was trying to like direct me to be sexy in a swimsuit shoot, and I was so uncomfortable, and you could see that I was so uncomfortable that it almost looked like a very inappropriate non-consensual. Like the photos that came out of
Oh
it were
my
like,
God.
I'm uncomfortable looking at that. Like it was
That's so
as
good.
far from sexy as you could possibly get.
I want
Very
to see the
funny.
pictures. Need to see them.
Someday if I find them, I will show them to you,
Release
but
the photos.
they're
I
so
got
bad.
I
So
got
so bad.
advice once from, do you know Emma Fife,
Yeah.
fellow nerdy? So she makes the best faces. And I was like, how are you doing this? What do you do? And so she came on a photo shoot that I was doing once, and she told me the secret is to say the word chew.
Chew?
Yeah, chew.
Oh, because then you get like a little bit of duck lips.
Chew. Yeah. And so now, but then I pushed it too hard. I just chew, chew. And that's not, she was like, no, no, like a soft chew. So anybody who's looking for a little tip,
There
just
you
try to
go.
chew. Yeah.
Say the word chew. I always heard someone say for trying to make sexy face, think I have a secret.
Ooh.
And maybe that works for some people. I don't know if that has ever worked for
I
me.
feel like I would have wide eyes. Like,
There's a secret. That's hilarious. Thomas, thank you for the super chat, says, do you consider yourself a nudist, Roxy? Which this is a question that comes up a lot because, I mean, the whole point of this is being inherently yourself in your own space. It's not anything that you're doing like exhibitionist wise or for the viewer or anything. It's just for you. So would you
yeah.
use that word for yourself?
Uh, when I think of nudists, so I think of the opposite of a nudist is a never nude. We know that with Tobias. So, I'm definitely not there. But am I full blown nudist? I'm naked a lot. I'm naked a lot. But I don't know if I'm a nudist because one of the things that keeps me from being a nudist is I have sheer curtains in my living room.
Okay.
And when it gets to be nighttime, when I walk around when I'm naked, the people in the street can for sure see me. And so I don't want to put that on somebody,
Right.
it's not really care, but like, there's like kids going for walks. And I didn't know until I knew that they could see me. That might, so
Did
yeah.
something happen?
One of my friends who was coming over was like, just so you know, I can 100% see you through the curtains. And I was like, wow, interesting. I can't really see out. So that's good to know. So I think that prevents me from being full blown nudist because once the lights go down, I have to, if I'm in my living room, I got to throw on like at least a t-shirt or something. But in my bedroom, yeah, my bedroom is a no clothes zone for my own purposes. Just like once I'm in there, get off, be gone.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to make your own zone. When I lived by myself, I was definitely naked a lot more than I am now that I live with a family.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
it.
funny
So
now,
why?
especially because like little dude is starting to get to an age
Yeah.
where we can't get changed in front of him. Like it's we're right on the border. And I don't know where that age is. I feel like everybody has their own line for that, but we're kind of taking it off of him. Like when it starts being weird for him, then we're gonna nope, we're good. But maybe it
That's
won't
so
be weird for him.
weird.
I have a friend who's a parent that their house is, she just calls it a naked house. They're just a naked house a lot. And like that's the way it's always been. And they don't think about it. And when like they use the restroom and stuff, they just leave the doors open if no one else is there besides their family because it's fine.
I
And
kind of
I
like
don't know
that.
that we will be that house, but I
I don't think
love
I
how
will either.
free it is.
Yeah, I like to be able to be naked by myself, but I feel like I'd be similar to you if I was living with a family. Yeah, I don't know what the age is, but at some point, little dude's not gonna want to see mommy
Yeah.
in all of her glory.
Right.
Is probably the only person who doesn't want to see Trisha like that, but
Ha 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 ha
he
ha.
will not.
There are definitely people out there, I am sure. Cyclops TV, thank you for the super chat. Says, hey Trisha, hello Roxy, thank you for joining. I'm watching this naked too in your own house. I hope not out in public, but I guess you wouldn't be at like a Starbucks or something right now anyway, because none of us can do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. At least, if you want to be naked, be in your home. Don't be naked in public, guys.
That's what I always say. So like the whole thing with this show is no sexy bits because it's not about that. So like no, I mean some people are real into clavicles and
You've got a
collarbones.
good one. When
Thanks,
I'm a little
dude.
skinnier, I've got a little more pointer here.
No, I
And
can see it. I can see it clearly. Like you like contoured it clearly.
you know what though? Somebody taught me. I didn't today because I have no makeup on, but somebody taught me how to do that. And sometimes when I wear dresses, I do to put the darker shadow here and here. There's a way to
Really?
do. Yeah, there's a way to do that. I need to step up my game because I wear zero makeup during quarantine. I can't be bothered. I
Yeah,
did put on moisturizer today though, so
I did too. I have on moisturizer, and my moisturizer has an SPF in it because, again, I'm hoping to go outside
ooh,
today.
fingers crossed.
Please
Get
let
it,
that
girl.
happen. Took it home to Jenny in chat says, I don't think I've worn a bra the whole time in isolation. That's like been one of the lovely parts about this is PJ pants and no bra all the time.
Yeah, I'm nervous that I don't know if this is true, but I'm nervous that if I don't wear a bra too often, my boobs are gonna really sag because I'm a larger breasted woman, and I can already tell that they're not the same that they used to be. I can already tell. So I'm scared if there's not something keeping them up, that they're just gonna fall.
I don't know how true that
I
is.
don't know either.
I don't know how true that is that like a bra helps keep them up because as someone who is also naturally a larger busted woman, the biggest thing that made a difference obviously for me was feeding a little human. That was the
Yeah.
thing that changed it. No bra could compete with that. That's where that is.
I just feel like it's a gravity thing though, right? Like if they're up
Maybe.
in the position
Isn't
of
that what Howard
upward.
Hughes said? Wasn't Howard Hughes famous for like this is the bra that will keep your boobs perky?
Did he?
I want to say that's true. Chat, fact check me on that, but I want to say that that's a real thing. But Roxy, one of the things I really wanted you to talk about on the Naked Truth today, and I
Yes,
know we
yes.
don't have like a specific overriding topic for today's Naked Truth, but on the Naked Truth, a lot of times the idea is, you're in your most vulnerable state, you're in your most honest, raw state, talking about vulnerable and honest and real things. And one of the things that you can't do on the internet now, really, is have strong opinions, especially in our current political climate. It seems like you can't have an opinion on anything. If I say the sky is blue, there's inevitably going to be someone somewhere that leaves a comment that's like, no, it's not. It's purple.
Pink.
How
It's
dare you?
pink.
I hope your whole family dies in a fire. Raw internet. But
Yeah.
you have opinions on the internet all the time because that's part of your job doing movie and television reviews.
Yeah.
So how do you combat that?
You know, I didn't realize how bad it was until maybe the last few years, couple of years, because I've always been somebody with opinions on the internet and I've always been hated for it. And that's kind of fine with me. And if it wasn't fine with me, I would need to find a new job because if you are somebody who that does eat at you, what the opinions of people you've never met think of you are, then this is not a good space for you,
Right.
because even if those opinions are positive, everybody has an opinion on you that sees you. And I know that's something that you've had to deal with as well. But I've really leaned into it into the last couple of years and considered myself to be loved by 50% and hated by 50%. And once I accepted that no matter what I said, 50% of the people were going to, like you said, legitimately wish that my family burned in a fire. Then I was like, okay, so you're the 50% I don't care about. And so write what you will. There are, of course, still things that get to me, like probably the biggest hate that I get, or the hate that like actually penetrates me, is for being Jewish, which sounds so crazy because we live in LA and like there are so many Jews here. And actually in my day-to-day life, it never comes up in a negative way. Like never do I ever have experiences with people who give me a hard time for that. But recently, because I talk about being Jewish very often, especially around like Passover time or when I'm dealing with my grandparents who are obviously Jews, not obviously, but they are Jews.
Sure.
Then there have been comments a lot on my Instagram, like, Jews don't deserve to be here. You should have died in the
What?
Holocaust. Like, and there was comments on when I posted of my grandparents, because my papa was in the hospital during this time and we got out. There was a comment about him that he should have like burned in the whatever.
Oh
So
my God.
I was just like, it's taught me something about the world, because when when you disagree with somebody, that's fine. But when you really disagree with somebody at their core, you're never going to find common ground. You're just not. And I'm never going to find common ground with somebody who thinks that my family should have been gassed. That's just like, we're never going to come to we're never going to be on the same page. So I can't try, because that's somebody who's too far, like I've lost that person. But then there are the people on the internet who say things like, nice tits, wanna bang. Those people are not too far gone yet, right? Those are the people who I'm like, I'll usually respond to and be like, hey, this is actually an inappropriate way to speak to somebody.
Right.
I hope that nobody speaks to the women in your life the way that you just spoke to me, and that you use this time to think about how you are conversing with people.
Tell them.
And those are the people that I'm like, okay, maybe I can still like show them that I'm a human being, and maybe that will like be something that they, maybe not for me, but for the next person, they don't say something like that too. And then there are the incredibly supportive ones that make me feel comfortable talking about whether it is my opinions on
So you
gun
just keep
control
on
or
having
Trump,
opinions. You're not gonna
just keep doing it.
change what you say. Because the interesting thing for that, from my perspective, is my kind of upbringing on the internet was working for Philip DeFranco, who, in my opinion, is one of the greatest masters of all time at saying, here is an opinion, but also there's some truth to this opinion. And have you ever considered this opinion? And I think he does it in such a way that he manages to piss off the least amount of people as possible. And I think it's such an art form that in my career I've kind of always struggled with, do I try somehow to emulate that model, or do I just say, this is me, I'm sorry if you don't like it, and kind of go with the 50-50 rule that you have?
Yeah. Well, what makes you feel better? What makes you be able to look in the mirror at night and say, okay, Trisha, okay. Because that's how I had to pick mine. Like, what makes me feel okay about who I am?
Right.
Because either answer is fine. You can totally go with his model. And if that's what makes you go to bed easier at night, and that's what makes you look at yourself and feel like you're doing your job, then that's what you should do. And if you need to speak fully like what it is you're thinking all the time, then that's what you need to do.
Yeah, and I think in some situations it's a lot easier to do that than others. Like, there have definitely been times where, talking about a television show, for example. So let's just bring up Lock and Key on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it. I did not like it.
Right. No, on my show, you talked about this a little bit, that you didn't like it because you love the comic.
Right. And so there have been times that I've talked about it where I'm like, I tried to give like the disclaimer that if you liked it, that's great. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I don't want to yuck anybody else's yum. However, I definitely have an opinion on it, and here's what that opinion is. But I still somehow in my mindset need to default to like, yours is okay too. But when you get into specifically politics, so like when you get away from movies and TV opinions and get into specifically politics or something like the anti-Semitism that you've seen on your Instagram, there is no, you know what, I understand your point as well. Like,
Right.
too far
Right.
gone, like you said.
Yeah, and that's the struggle, because it's kind of like, at that point, what is the point in stating your opinion when you are either preaching to the choir, or you're asking for people to say mean things to you, because those are the only two audiences you've got. Like, politics is so polarizing at this point that there aren't many people who say, I actually don't know where I lie on this issue. There just aren't that many people that say that anymore. And I think more of us should try to say that, because there's some things that we don't know enough about, or that we don't feel. Not every cause is your cause. And
Sure.
I'm very clear on that. There's things that I definitely do not know enough about, to speak on. And when it comes up, when people ask me about it, I say, I actually don't know enough.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Like, I have my opinion, but I almost don't want to say it on the internet because then I'll get crucified if I can't back it up, and I don't know enough about it to
Yeah.
back it up.
Yeah.
Totally, I get it. I guess we've, and I say we meaning like the community on this channel that's followed for a while. Corrigan, thank you for the super chat. Says I followed you since your first day on SourceFed. Thank you. And there's a lot of
that's
people who've
amazing.
been here that long. But I guess kind of what I've gone with is maybe like a entirely different approach, where I just try to cultivate community so hard on the channels I control. So on this channel, on my Twitch channel, where we're constantly like using not the ban hammer, but like the respect hammer to just be like, hey, this isn't a place for that kind of language. No, like, if you want to state an opinion, feel free to have a bold opinion, but have it in a way that encourages open dialogue. Don't just jump in there to like mic drop and then jump out because it makes you feel good about yourself. Like, that's not what this is for. This is a place for open dialogue and discussion, and like legitimately, if you're wanting to have an educational discussion with other people, that is welcome. All types of opinions are welcome. But if you're just coming in to hear yourself talk, like stand on the cafeteria table and shout in high school and then get out of there before anyone else can say anything, that doesn't help anybody except for maybe your ego for like 2 seconds. And
Well, I am
those kind
curious
of
about,
comments
Trisha, you
removed.
just said about the not hammering down the ban hammer. Is that something that you don't do here? Do you not block ban?
Oh, so what I've always kind of defaulted to, and shout out to my amazing mods in chat. GK Gamer Fans here, Took It Home, to Jenny's here. I think CP might be here. I saw a couple names in chat. So shout out to the mods for making it great. You guys are awesome. We kind of always default to warning first, because like you said, like, you know, someone might be not be too far gone that you can just say, hey, this isn't a place for that. We're a little bit more respectful here. Please try to phrase your comments in a way that encourage open dialogue and be respectful to everybody on screen and in chat. And if you give a warning and then they double down
Which is
on
often.
being a jerk.
Which is often.
Yeah, if you give a warning and they double down on being a jerk, then it's like, okay, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And my thought on that is, if you are in my house in real life, if you've come into my living room and you start being mean to other people in my house, whether they are my guests or my family members or me, I would ask you to leave my house.
Yes.
To me, the internet is no different. If I am inviting you into my home, please be respectful to everybody else in my home. This is like a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
But the hard thing comes, and you know this, Roxy, when you are on camera for channels you do not own, that you do not have control over the community moderation. And then you just kind of have to figure out a different way to wrap your mind around it, because you don't have that control. But I think that a community that's cultivated is way better than a community that's just allowed to run amok in the name of free speech. Like, of course, everybody has the right to say whatever they want, but that doesn't necessarily mean I want you in my house.
Right. I
Saying whatever
couldn't
you
agree
want.
more. I couldn't agree more. And it is hard, though, because a lot of the places that I work for do not believe that. They believe mo people, mo better. And I get why, because, you know, subscribers numbers matter and view count matters, and get them how you can get them for some people. But I am with you, where I would much, much rather a smaller community of people who legitimately care about each other and are going to treat each other with respect, than people who can just say whatever they want. And that doesn't mean that they can't have different beliefs than me. I have a ton of people in my chat who have very different beliefs than me, and when things do come up about whatever political thing we're talking about that day, and they say, actually, this is what I think about stem cell research, okay, whatever. Great. So happy to hear from you. Totally fine. But when they start using like word name calling is the first thing that's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I mean, if you're going to use a racial slur, and it happens all the time. It happens all of the time. And I'm like, how is this person still able to be on the internet? And there's such loose guidelines from the people. Like, I don't know if you had any of these situations, but I had an Instagram person who said that they knew where I was staying at Comic-Con one year, that they were going to find me, they were going to rape me, they were going to murder me.
That's
they
terrifying.
Started sending me pictures of all of their body parts, and I reported it to Instagram, and they said this is not against our guidelines.
What?
I'm gonna rape you. I know where you're staying.
Wow.
Said where I was staying. I'm going to murder you and put you in a ditch. I'm hoping you're wearing these cosplay costumes. Here's a picture of my penis. And Instagram said these are not against our guidelines.
That is insane.
Insane. And they're just like allowed to be on the internet.
I'm so sorry, Roxy. Yeah, we don't have enough laws that govern digital behavior. I mean, threats of violence, at least in some states, are supposed to be illegal. But when threats of violence are made digitally, no one seems to care. And I think a lot of that stems down to the fact that they don't know how to go after those people. I did have one instance where I was really concerned someone was going to come to my house. And when I contacted my local police department about it, they were like, until they show up on your property, there's nothing we can do. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, great. Okay, that's super reassuring. Thanks so much. Which is terrifying. But I think that it's honestly because they don't know what to do up until then.
And I have suggestions, but I don't know that I know exactly what to do either. I just know that you shouldn't be allowed to say those things, and we shouldn't feel as unprotected as we do when people do say those things. Because the truth was, I almost didn't go that year to Comic-Con because I was so afraid. I was so scared, but then I realized I will not be able to pay my bills if I do not go. This is my livelihood for a huge chunk of the year. Comic-Con is where I book a lot of gigs. I have gigs, it's a huge, and I was like, okay. So when I spoke to a police officer about it, he was like, yeah, I don't know if we deem this a credible threat, but be on the lookout.
Okay.
I was like, and then he was like, and if something happens, of course, report it. And I was like,
cool.
Great. I can't wait to report this. And then, nothing did happen. And
thank goodness.
And I don't know whether that's because that person, because I was being extra safe. I wasn't allowed to go. Like one of the companies I was with sent somebody to and from my place to bring me back and forth because they took it legitimately, which is great. But like, I don't know whether it's because I was always with somebody or they changed their mind or it was never a credible threat. But just that fear the whole time, because, I'm sure for the person who you thought was coming to your house, even if they don't come, it changes you can't think about anything else.
No. And you spend a ridiculous amount of money in home security.
Yeah. Yes, and yes.
To help try to get peace of mind. Well, I'm so glad that nothing happened that you had to report. That's terrifying. I saw someone in chat say, I think it was Steven Summers said companies need to do more to protect women. And I just want to throw out there, I know a guy that these kind of threats happen to. Actually, I know several guys that these kind of threats have happened to. So it's not even just women. It's just people online in general. If you are someone that's public facing online, you need to be really careful about that. And whenever I talk to parents that are like, oh, my kid wants to get into YouTube or get into streaming, do you have any advice for them? I'm like, please monitor their chat. Please mod their communities. Please, it's going to be rough from that standpoint. I almost don't wish that on anyone for a lot of those reasons, because you have to be really careful.
What do you think about if your little dude comes to you in a few years, you got some time, but say he does and says, this is something I want to do. I want to be just like mommy, whatever. What are you gonna do? Say,
I guess mommy mods the heck out of that chat.
Yeah.
And I guess there are a lot of children YouTube YouTubers or YouTube stars or whatever I should say, that I think their parents, it's their full-time job to run their stuff.
Yeah.
Because then they can control what kind of content is put out. They can control who's contacting them. They can control the chat, or they just turn chat and likes off, which is another thing I might suggest if a kid was doing it. But in general, you just have to be really, really careful, because if you film something not even thinking about it in your front yard or in your office parking lot, people can find visual clues to figure out where you are.
Yeah.
And not that 99% of your community would do anything malicious with that information, but every now and then there's someone that might, and so you want to be really careful.
Yeah. The internet keeps things too, because I know I tried to have it scrubbed, but like my childhood home was on there for a long time. Ooh. And it was like that just freaked me out. And now it's not, but it's like, why is that information even on there? Like,
totally.
Well.
Totally. Garth actually threw out in chat, Garth McMurray says, I had a mentally unstable neighbor who'd bang on our shared wall at all hours and yell death threats to me. The cops said, oh, that's just crazy Kenny. It took 3 years for me and other tenants to evict him. Oh my gosh, that's nuts. I'm so sorry, Garth McMurray.
It is so hard to evict somebody. It is like the tenant's stomping grounds, and to evict somebody, I mean, it's really challenging. So I'm glad that eventually at least it worked and that crazy Kenny got booted, but 3 years, I'm sorry. That sounds like a massive disturbance in your life.
Well, and I hope that someone was able to help crazy Kenny get some mental help.
Yeah.
You know, like I hope he was able to get some support and mental health care. Because I'm sure it's miserable for Kenny as well. Chris Lucier Jensen, thank you for the super chat, says, sending this because I got my first substantial paycheck in weeks. Yay! Do either of you have any clothing you wear that helps simulate nudity in public? I'm not really sure what that question means.
What does that mean?
Like, I guess I like wearing dresses because then everything feels very free. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, but you know what? I hate not wearing underwear in public. Like, I hate it.
Me too. I'm the same way.
There's something about, like, even if I'm wearing a really tight dress, I guess if I have to sometimes because of the lines, but I don't know. It feels like something's gonna, like, this is the most disgusting comment I've ever made, but it feels like something might fall out of me. And, like, even though there's nothing that's gonna fall out of me, it just feels like something could. I know it's a weird way of phrasing it, but just like,
no,
I need like a catcher.
That's hilarious. I can't go out without underpants. It always makes me think of, wasn't that like the big TMZ Britney Spears thing that she got out of a limo once with no underpants on under her club and dress or whatever, and there were
there's I think Lindsay Lohan too, or there's been a lot of bad shots.
A lot of women do that for exactly the reason that you said. You know, if you're wearing a really tight dress and you don't want panty lines, that can be a way to, you know, not worry about it. I personally would rather wear like Spanx or some super creative undergarment that smooths everything out rather than go completely commando, if you will.
I don't know that
I'm ever looking to simulate nudity in public, I guess, is my answer to that.
Yeah. I will say, like, sometimes if I'm doing a red carpet or an event and I am wearing something that is tube toppy, I will see some of the pictures that get posted make it look like I'm naked. Mm-hmm. So that I'm not doing it on purpose, but yeah. I see those.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas says wardrobe malfunction, LOL. Yeah, you try not to have those.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Not ideal.
Not ideal, generally. So, Roxy, the other thing that I wanted to bring up, because I haven't talked about it on The Naked Truth in a long time. I used to talk about this on The Naked Truth a lot earlier. But dating in LA. Is that something you talk about publicly? Do you talk about your private life?
Absolutely. I do, and I have, and I will. What do you want to know, girlfriend?
How's it going for you? I did a ton of online dating when I was dating back in the day. I felt like it was the only
apps
way
or online?
Well, Tinder wasn't a thing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it was like
eHarmony and Match and a bunch of those. But I felt like maybe it was a helpful way to sift through the seas of people. So for anyone out there who is trying to date in a large city, it can be very overwhelming because there's so many people, which is the opposite problem of people that are trying to date not in a large city, where you feel like there aren't enough options for you and you're stuck with like the same small group of people.
Yeah.
So I always just like asking people who come on, like kind of what your experience and advice is for that.
I think that of the cities that I've lived in, which have been two, Boston and LA, that LA is like legitimately the worst city ever to date in. Uh, I I think that people, because if you live in LA, there's a very high percentage chance that you came here for one reason, and that reason is to be successful in your career. And that reason isn't to find your family.
Right.
And that could be a side reason or it could be something you grow, but most people don't move to LA to find their partner. That doesn't seem to be what happens. So a lot of people here are, and I respect it, it's just not their priority. But at the same time, still people have urges and need to do things and are still dating. And I have just never been one. Like I consider myself very prude, not because of anything moral, because you get it, girl, boy, whatever, you do you. I just don't feel comfortable being intimate with somebody that's not like my actual person. I'd never have. My brain and my vagina are literally one thing. They're so in sync that, and I'm going back to thinking about something falling out of my vagina. It's my brain, guys. My brain fell out of my
brain fell out
vagina.
of it.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Someone please gift that.
Oh my God, the way that would look. Imagine if you saw something fall out of somebody's vagina and you're like, "Oh, ma'am, I think you dropped your
I think you dropped your brain.
brain." Huh. All right.
Hilarious.
Carry on. But they're so connected. So I have actually had a pretty hard time dating in LA. I had a very long-term boyfriend out here who's amazing. And I've talked about this before too. Definitely like hope for the future with him. But just based on the time of life we were in and the period of life, we weren't able to be together anymore. It just wasn't working out. And it just has been, I like having a boyfriend in the city because I find that it's with what we're doing and like all the meetings I'm taking and everything that's happening. It's almost uncomfortable being single here sometimes. Like I don't know if you experienced that at all when you were, but it's lonely, it's uncomfortable, it's hard to find somebody who actually wants the same thing you want, which is monogamy, if that's what you want, or eventually a family, if that's what you want, or somebody who's okay with the fact that you're going to work 100-hour weeks and you're really not going to be home and you can't cook and clean for him. Like, again, that's such an antiquated way of thinking, but a lot of people here are looking for somebody like that. And I travel all the time for work. I book gigs out of town constantly. I'm here sometimes, I'm not here other times, and sometimes when I'm not here for weeks.
Right.
So somebody who's okay with all of those things, but still being just with one person is like so hard to find here. And I think it's probably hard to find anywhere, but especially in LA.
I agree with that 100%. I've always said the exact same thing, that people move here with career being their top priority, and even if relationship is their secondary priority and the relationship and career goes great, eventually those two things will butt heads. And if the person needs to make a choice, a lot of times if they're Los Angeles based, they gave up everything for their career. Why not give up this relationship too?
Right.
So, and that tends to be the end of it, which can be very disheartening, especially if it's something you've put a lot of heart and hard work and stuff into. And it's my husband on our second date, right up front was like, "Hey, like, we're meeting here for happy hour. This is great. Look at what kind of drink you want. Also, I just want to let you know that I want to get married and have kids someday. So if that's not for you, then like, it's been great meeting you and we can definitely hang out, but this probably isn't going to go anywhere." Like, he just like...
Were you grateful that he said that, or was it off-putting at the time?
No, I was really grateful that he said that, because in sifting through this sea of people, it's very hard to find someone that's got the same mindset as you and the same wants and needs as you going into it. And even though we both agreed, like, not saying we're getting married tomorrow, not even saying you're my person, but if this goes on long term and we feel like we are each other's person, at least knowing where the finish line is in his mind was very helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Or,
Did you guys meet on the online?
We did not. No, we did not. We met through a mutual friend. And I was dating someone else that I had met online at the time. To which I had to say to that person, like, it's been great getting to know you, but I actually met somebody else. Because Nate and I just, like, clicked and hit it off right away. But Nathan S. says, shouldn't life goals be brought up that soon no matter what? You would think. But then there's this whole weird, like, oh, don't talk about any of that stuff till you've been dating at least 6 months. But by that point, your emotions are so involved that you might not be answering honestly. And it gets much more tricky at that point than if you just set it up front. And like Roxy said, were you off put by that? I had a lot of friends that were like, ew, I can't believe he said that on date 2. That were like, I would go running, screaming in the other direction. But I really appreciated the honesty, personally.
Yeah, I think I would too. But like you just kind of said, the thing about being that upfront is you have to really clearly know what you want at that point.
Right.
And a lot of people don't. Again, especially in the city, because the answer to do you want to get married and have kids for a lot of people is maybe. Depends on who I meet or how much money I have or what point in my life I'm at.
Sure.
Because, my career comes first. So I don't know that a lot of people would even be able to say that, because it wouldn't be honest if they said, yes, 100%, yeah, I do want this, or 100% I don't want this, because they don't know the answer.
Totally.
Because it depends on how their career or life goes. So you want to put everything on the table, but you also don't want to say something that's not true. Mm-hmm. And if the truth is that you're not going to have kids unless you are a movie star, then you can't say to the person across from you, I'm going to have children, absolutely, because you don't know where your career is going to go.
Well, and you honestly, with the kids thing, that's a whole nother bag of worms, because who knows if you'll even be able to have kids as the man or the woman. And you're not going to know until you get in that phase of life, and there's so many other factors. But even I think just giving the, like, I would like the possibility of this to be in the future, I think is smart at that. Because I dated a lot of people, Roxy, that I think didn't know what they wanted. And said, like, yeah, of course I want family, because it's like, the American dream, the house and the white picket fence and the family and whatever. And when it really boiled down to it, that's not what they wanted at all.
Right. And it's not even that they were lying. They just didn't know. They don't know themselves that well. And I think that's a really tough place to be in when you've never even spent that much time thinking about it, because all you've thought about is, I want to be a screenwriter.
Right.
Or whatever the people move out here to do. And that's all you've spent your time thinking about. So now you're on a date with a beautiful woman and she's saying, yeah, I would like to get married one day. And you're saying, yeah, me too. Because most likely you come from parents. So you're like, yeah, me too. And I want to have kids. Yeah, sure. I'll live in a house. Yeah, totally. But like, is that really what your life is going to look like? Is that really what you want?
Right. And they don't even know. Eric Z in chat says, Trisha, get Roxy into gaming. Perhaps you guys could play some Nintendo Switch Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Roxy, do you play games?
No, okay. So they make fun of me all the time. So our good friends, mutual friends, Sam Basher and DJ Woldridge are always picking on me because I have said I'm an amazing gamer and I don't know how to play games. I'm literally the worst gamer ever, but like I'm such a gamer. I'm horrible. I don't know what it is. Like I can't figure it out. It's something about, but I want to be so bad. I don't own a system. I don't do anything other than like when I'm at my friend's house, I'll be like, I can do this. And they're always like, oh my God, you're blowing it. Like, give me back the control. No, you can't touch this again. I'm really, really bad.
I promise I can find a video game you're good at.
Is it easy?
Yes, I promise. Certain games are not easy, but if you think of video games like you think of movies, and there's lots of different genres of movies, right? So what I think a lot of people who are not in the gaming scene think, oh, video games, and they think one genre. And they're like, well, that's not for me. But that would be like if I was like, oh yeah, movies, and I thought of Dunkirk, and I was like, I'm not into movies. I just can't get into them. And you would be like, well, listen, there's lots of different kinds of movies.
No, I'm
There's
super into them. I'm
there's
super into them.
documentaries, there's rom-coms, there's all different types of things. Then we'll find one that you're into.
Wait, what
So
is the name of the thing with, okay, the last game I played, I'm trying to cross these railroad tracks. I'm hopping.
Frogger, are you playing Frogger?
Wait, is that it? And then you're trying to jump and you're trying not to get hit by the trains.
And probably some version. Frogger is usually you're jumping across like a river and
Yeah.
trying not to get
Yeah,
knocked
there's a
off.
river. I liked that one.
Okay, that's a good start. But you do have a system because you have a PC, right?
Oh, yeah, I do. I do.
There
have
you go. So you do have a gaming system.
Really?
Yes. And there are lots of different games you could play on it. But to that I would say I'm trying to peg you are a businesswoman. So you might really like Animal Crossing that everybody's playing right now.
Oh, yeah, everybody's
You
doing
might
that.
really like The Sims. Um
Yeah, I did Sim when I was younger. I used to do the Sims, and I used to make them stay in a little square and try to have sex with each other. That was my
well,
childhood thing. Good for me. Go Rocks.
there you go.
I
Or
didn't
you
have a
could
lot of
play
friends.
narrative games like Andy T2K and chat suggests try Doki Doki and be put off games for life. I thought Doki Doki was hilarious.
Wait, there was another game I liked where I was a duck and there was a farmer and I was trying to get all the things
Untitled Goose
before.
Game?
Is that what it is? I try to get
Yes.
all the things before he notices, comes
Yes.
yells at me. I
Yes.
thought that was fun. I liked the list of things to do.
Okay.
And then I could do them each. It was hard. I liked
Untitled
it.
Goose Game is a bit of a challenge. But yes, see, so there are games that if you liked them enough to continue playing them on your own time, you would get very good at them.
Yeah, I think the time part is a
Ooh,
challenge.
Dragon King suggests Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is a great suggestion for
What is
Roxy.
that?
Oh man, Stardew Valley is a game that is. There are other games like it out there for sure. Animal Crossing being one that's similar, but Stardew Valley is a type of game, like many others, where you are kind of dropped into a situation where you're now an owner of a farm that hasn't been taken care of for a long time. You're moving to a new neighborhood to take care of and run this farm, and you need to like make it financially work so that you have more money coming in than you're spending. But you also get to like cultivate and make it aesthetically how you want it to be. And then you get to meet people in the community and form friendships or not friendships. And there's a lot of different ways you can go with it. If you want to spend all your time mining for gems and make that your source of income, you can. If you want to be fishing, if you want to really just focus on your farm and be farming, you can do that.
Oh,
If you want to
gems,
focus on your
gems.
social relationships and get a date to the spring festival, you can work on that.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, very fun. Let's see which other ones anyone
What's Pajama Sam?
What? Who? Pajama Sam?
No, Roxy should play Pajama Sam.
I don't know Pajama Sam. I don't
Who's
know that
Pajama
game.
Sam? I like pajamas.
Trainer Jody says, I could totally see this becoming a series. Roxy tries blank game where Trisha streams her coaching Roxy through the new game over Zoom or something. Roxy, do you ever stream to Twitch?
I've never done. I've only on other people's channels have I done it. I don't know how Twitch is confusing to your girl Rox. I gotta figure
I can
it
teach you
out.
Twitch if you ever want to learn too, but you're doing great streaming on YouTube, so I wouldn't worry about that. But yes, if you ever have the time and the desire to play some video games, you know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to send you a small list of games that are available on PC that if you want to mess around with, you can. Do you like chess?
I don't know how. I like
You don't know how.
checkers.
Like regular chess?
No, I like checkers. I don't know how to play chess. Is that so
You
bad?
like checkers? Okay, well, I still might send you Into the Breach. So I
I
think
like-
Stardew Valley.
I
Into
love
the Breach.
solitaire and I love Sudoku.
Okay, good.
Trying to think. I like numbers things.
Do you like fantasy stuff? Are you
Yeah, I
into,
like fantasy
D&D?
stuff for sure.
Diablo 3, you might
But you know what I
like.
didn't like? There was this pirate game that Sam and DJ made me play, mod to the pirates, and you're getting like the buried treasure on the ship, and then you're bringing it. I didn't
Stranded
like that.
Sails. Was it Stranded Sail or not Stranded Sails? What is
It
that?
doesn't.
Sea of Thieves.
It might have been Sea of Thieves. I didn't like that game.
No, I don't really super care for that game either.
Mm-mm.
Do you like running a restaurant? I could send you Cook Serve Delicious, but that game's really
Wait,
hard.
I love that one where I made a burger and I
Hmm.
made the things. That was fun. I loved that game.
There we
I
go.
did that for a Nerdist stream, and I feel like I was a great chef. I got good timing on it. Yeah, that game was cool.
See? So there are games that you like.
Definitely, I like games. I'm just not usually good at them.
Well, being good at them only takes time. So it just depends how much time. But you said, I don't have any consoles at home. So if you're not playing at home, then you can't compare yourself to people that play daily.
I didn't know that a PC counted as a console.
A PC doesn't count as a console, but it certainly is a gaming system.
More so than my Mac.
Oh, heck yeah, girl.
Really? So you're a PC
Yes!
girl?
Yes!
I got both, and I feel it's the first time I've ever had both. I had to get a PC for when I started doing a ton of YouTube stuff because like StreamYards and Streamlabs and the whole thing. It just
Hmm.
and I have to say I was so anti PC for so long, but like my PC is doing great things for me right now.
You can do a lot more uninhibited on a PC. I like PCs because I like to build PCs. If I'm going to spend a lot of money on a piece of technology, I want to have full control over that technology because I feel like I spent over $1,000 on this and I'm an adult. Let me do with it what I want. It's mine. Please and thank you.
Do you have an iPhone?
No,
So you're just a non-Apple gal.
I am a non-Apple. Yeah, the last iPhone I had was the 3GS and I never looked back.
What do you have?
I have the Pixel 4 right now.
Is it good?
I liked the Pixel 3 XL better, to be honest, but the 4 is okay. It's good. I mean, it's my daily driver. I don't dislike it. The only thing I really liked better about the Pixel 3 XL was the audio recording was a little bit better. And the 4 only has a USB-C port right here. And you can buy external microphones that plug into a USB-C, but I've never gotten them to work well with the Pixel 4. So whereas the 3XL is a phone that I could like hold up and plug in an external lav and lav myself like out in an event and be comfortable recording like that. I can't really do that with the Pixel 4, but this takes some of the prettiest pictures I've ever seen in my life.
The pictures really matter. I will say that's a big selling point. I don't know if I would be as big of an Apple girl if it wasn't so easy to communicate with everybody else. Like the airdropping part of it is so nice, and the iMessenger is so nice, and the just like the it's the same way I felt about BlackBerry growing up. I love my BlackBerry so much because I wanted to BBM all day. I'm a BBM kind of gal.
They
I wanted
do
to
have
ping
their
people.
own ecosystem for sure. And switching from iPhone to Android, Apple does not make it easy. They will hold on to your iMessages until your dying day. They're like, pry it out of my cold, dead Apple hands. I've helped a lot of friends port over from the Apple ecosystem to PC and Android over the years. And I'm always like, look, the first 2 weeks, you're going to hate your life. And then once you get past that, you're going to be so much happier. But like, know that there's an adjustment period. Because there are lots of problems like that. The James Wisdom says, I always recommend Apple to people that don't like techie stuff. And that's a good way to think of it. But that even being said, I still put my parents on Android phones.
You did?
Oh, yeah. I just put them on easy Android phones. I didn't put them on the crazy, like, customize everything yourself. But, like, instead of AirDrop, I just upload it to Google Drives. Or Google Photos you can share directly from, which, again, is essentially just uploading it to the cloud and then sharing a link to the cloud service, and that's how people can get it. And instead of FaceTime, Google has Duo, which is the same thing, but the Google version that's based on, Google Hangouts technology.
I like how you're the person, like when we were talking about your advice to people if they want to have kids, or your advice to people if they want phones, like you are not ever going to tell somebody what they want to hear. It's just not who you are. Like you're going to tell them this is what you need to know. So 2 weeks of your life is going to be miserable. Like I'm just going to let you know what's happening because I'm not going to tell you something that's not true.
It's true. Or you can just stick with what you know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That is also okay. But no, for gaming, you really want a PC. For streaming, I've never tried to stream from a Mac, but I imagine, like you were saying, your experience with StreamYards and stuff like that, it would be a lot easier from a PC. I just like having control over my devices. even if that means that I need to have a little bit more technical know-how to adjust my settings. I like that I have the ability to adjust my settings instead of just having a device, which Apple's whole ecosystem and their whole idea is, here's a device, you don't have to mess with settings at all. We've chosen everything for you. And to some people, that's very comforting. To me,
I like that.
I feel like I spend thousands of dollars. Don't tell me what I want. I will tell you what I want. And then they say, oh, we've disabled that. And I'm like, no, you didn't. I paid $2,000 for this. You didn't disable anything. Let me do it. Like, it makes me very feisty.
That's amazing.
It makes me very feisty that, like,
very Philly.
Right? For example, like, if I sit on this phone and I crack this lens right here, I don't have to take this to a genius and have them ship it out for 3 weeks while I have a loaner phone. I can order the part that got broken off Amazon for under $10 and fix it myself because I'm a GD adult.
I need that in my life. I don't have that. I need that. I ship my devices forever and I'm like, oh.
But it's honestly, it's whatever you're used to. Like when I was at SourceFed, they intentionally made me work on an iMac just to like see me grumble daily. And it definitely happened. Like I was like trying to figure out how to put notes on my computer and I'm like searching notes and nothing's popping up. And they were like, oh, it's because it's called sticky notes. You have to type in sticky. And I was like, we're so adorable. We're Apple. Like, I just want to be productive. I don't want to be cute.
It is like the Starbucks when every single time I walk in, because I'm usually a coffee bean girl. So every time I walk into Starbucks, and I'm like, can I have a middle one? The middle size. You know what I'm talking
Medium.
about. Yeah. And they're all like, grande? And I'm like, grande. Yes, a grande. You knew what I meant. You didn't have to correct me. Can I have the grande? Every time.
Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way. Folks, if you have any other questions for Roxy, let me know. I don't want to take up too much more of your time because you have a show in less than an hour. Roxy, who's your guest today on Live at the Roxy?
So I'm actually going sans guest today because I am building Legos. So I don't do Legos. I don't know how, but yesterday started. I thought I was going to do a Lego set in 20 minutes. We started yesterday and I got through like maybe 10% of it. If that, I did for 90 minutes. I got a dope Friends Lego set. I wonder if you can see this. Can you see my Friends? So I've been trying to make it. It's in the box, like the stuff I've made is in the box. So I was supposed to have a guest today, but I was like, guys, I want to keep building Legos. So like, how do you guys feel about that? And everybody was cool with it. So I'm doing Legos today, but tonight I'm actually doing a special stream. I do a show called The Whirl Girls, where we give different things a whirl. We tried Chubby Bunny. We gave whiskey a whirl. And tonight we're giving ASMR a whirl. We've never done it. It's so strange. We have no idea. So we are giving ASMR a whirl. So nervous about it. Don't even know what to make of it. And we're taking all of the fan suggestions about like what sounds we should make, which.
Wow. I think you need to get like a makeup brush or a paintbrush and paint the microphone.
Yeah, there's like all the different classic things. I hear eating oranges and pickles. I don't know. I'm flipped. But we're giving it a whirl. That's at 7 on my channel, youtube.com/Roxy Striar. So
have fun. And if anyone missed when we tweeted it out earlier, just a couple days ago, I guess it was last weekend. Wasn't it last weekend?
Yeah, was it?
I was on
like that though.
Live at the Roxy as well.
Yeah.
So you should check that out on Roxy's
People
channel.
loved your episode. They loved it. You are awesome, girl. You're awesome in everything you do.
You are so very kind. We have a super chat from TayRay88. Says, how do you report to Instagram over fake accounts doing revenge porn against you? Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure that's illegal in most states now. So I would press charges.
How is it a fake account then though? A revenge porn fake account? Is it real?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of questions about that too.
I have follow-ups. But I think there is a button that says mark report and then it says why. And then there's one that says nudity. They didn't listen to me or care about what I said. Apparently you're allowed to send nudes of yourself, just not of other people. So if it is of you and they're doing it, then that might be against their guidelines.
Yeah, you could certainly try. Absolutely. Well, Roxy, thank you so much for coming on The Naked Truth today. It's
I
been so
can't
lovely
believe
chatting with you.
Thanks for having me. Does this mean I gotta get dressed after this, or can I stay? I can be in my nudist colony for the
It's
rest of the
totally
day.
up to you. If you want to build Legos in the buff on your show, you can totally do that. But then people probably won't be able to see the Legos you're building.
That's true. Oh my God, girl. I was streaming yesterday with the Legos and
Mm.
I have that the lower third and the upper thing. And
Yeah.
they were like, girl, we can't see the table. It was like 20 minutes. I wasn't even looking at the chat and about 20 minutes. And I look over and they're like, can you move like, we cannot see what you're building. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not good at this stuff.
You are.
So
You know what? When you said you were building Legos on live stream, I was like, how very Twitch of you,
really,
Roxy.
I'm so excited for it. I love Friends, and I don't know, it was really cute. I made Gunther yesterday. He had a broom in his hand,
Great.
white hair, and I was like, it's Gunther in my home. I don't
I
know where I'm
love
going to
it.
put it, but I'm excited about it.
I love it. There's a lot of people in chat suggesting Maude Garrett maybe for Live at the Roxy and
I
some other.
would love, love, love to have her. As you know, Trisha, I'm so awkward as a human being in general, but like I don't know how to ask people to come on my show. It just is not what happens. I had to get the rock stars to go into your Twitch to ask you for you to come on, and then you email me and you're like, yeah, girl, of course, like I'd love to come on, but that's how awkward I am as a human. So you guys go tell Maud, go ask Maud if she wants to come, and then that's how we'll do it.
Garth McMurray says, please read my Streamlabs super chat. Well, I don't have Streamlabs open. Hold on. You're going to have to give me a hot second to figure that out.
It is a hot second. I'm telling you, it's 90 degrees here. My lack of AC.
Yeah. Oh, you have no AC. That's right. I forgot that you had said that.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, it's warm.
Ooh, baby.
You can see it in my T zone. You can see my lack of AC.
Okay,
There she is.
see.
Little sweater.
Here we go. Here's Garth's super chat. Thank you for the donation through Streamlabs saying, sending this because I got my first, nope, that is not it. There it is. Hi, Rox and Trish. I've been a huge fan of both of you for years. I love seeing you together. Any chance we could get a weekly or monthly video with you two? Also, I would love Trish to get Roxy into RPG games. I think she would love the acting part of it. Maybe. Yeah. Have you ever played D&D or any tabletop RPGs?
So no, but I will say that I've been wanting to do RPG for a really long time because it just like that makes total sense. I love being creative and acting and goofy and serious and like trying all different things. I just everything about it. My friends who do it sounds amazing. So I actually am gonna start. Emma Fife and Cameron Rice and Joe Starr all were like, "This is made for you." So I think we're not. I don't even know if we're gonna stream it live. I think we're gonna do a fun one just for us like friends, and
That's
then if
great.
well, moving forward, we probably will. But I'm really excited about it. As for once a week, once a month, Trisha, I'd love to see you as often as possible.
I know. That's how I feel too.
A once a month kind of whatever. Roxy and Trisha hang out.
Yes, well, on my Twitch channel, I do Wacky Wednesdays every Wednesday where I play games with friends. And what I've been doing since I've been playing so much Final Fantasy VII Remake during the day, I've been doing Wacky Wednesday streams in the evenings after Little Man goes to bed. So if you ever want to play video games on Wednesdays or any day, really, after
How do
8
I
p.m.
play though? Do I need on my PC?
On your PC.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a yes from me.
On your PC. I'll send you some good stuff.
I'm gonna be so bad. I love it.
You're gonna love it. It's gonna be a good time.
You know what I'm bad at? Legos. I didn't even know how to get them to click into each other. That took me like 15 minutes, girl.
Legos are deceptively difficult.
It was really challenging. Everybody was laughing at me in the thing, and I was like, how do you? And then if you put it in the wrong place,
Yeah.
to try to get it out,
Oh yeah.
that was really hard. I used a knife.
Yeah. It is tough.
It's tough.
It is tough. I always recommend that as like a early date. When you first start dating someone, try to build a Lego set together because I feel like it's a really good, how do we communicate? How do we operate under pressure? Is one of us really controlling or not? You know, like it's a good litmus test.
I kind of think that's epic. I'm going to put everybody through that test. Thank you.
Yes, put everybody through the Lego test. All right, Roxy, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You are an absolute dear. Where can people find you on the internet?
Everywhere at Roxy Striar, youtube.com/Roxy Striar. And in 50 minutes, if you want to come over there and watch me build some Legos and have story time, then you can see how much I really do suck at it.
Yay! I'm
Yay!
sure you will pull it together and be amazing and impress everyone.
Oh, I'm doing strong arms. You can't see.
No, you can't see, but they are very strong. Girl,
Thank
you
you.
working out.
Girl, you working out. Oh my God, I got a bike. It came yesterday from QVC.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yay!
I put it all together last night. I'm gonna use it today. I'm a
Woo!
QVC girl now. It was my first time I ordered something from there.
That's hilarious. I've never
Yeah.
ordered from them, but I'm
I think
glad
it's
that you
gonna
got a
work.
bike.
It folds up like an ironing board. It's a whole thing. I'll show you later. It's a thing.
All right. Thank you guys all so much for watching The Naked Truth. You are amazing human beings. Thank you for tuning in. Please go give Roxy a follow in all the places. Check out her building Legos if you are free later today. Feel free to check out the episode of Live at the Roxy that Roxy and I did together on her channel just a bit ago. And you know where to find me on all the places. But the next time that I will be live is tomorrow morning for the Sunday morning stream, where I will be playing more Final Fantasy VII Remake dressed as Tifa Lockhart. So that'll be 10 a.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/Trisha Hershberger. All right, thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you later. Bye!